So such a big believer on you got to spend money to make money.
Do you have a preference, like your best place for business and work?
At the age of 24, I can say I've lived the best life.
That one course fucking changed my life. I put every last cent that I had. So I'm a first client, it would have tatted on me.
Alright, so today, Jermaine and I are actually doing a very raw video. We've just woken up here in Bali in this beautiful villa, and to be honest, we said, why don't we drop some game on the YouTube channel? Honestly, unfortunately for Jermaine, he had a very big YouTube channel and it recently got deleted. So we're going all in on YouTube again. Same for myself. Personal branding is very important, and we've both been in business now for, pretty much 8 years, haven't we? So
it's been a long time now.
It's been a minute. And
almost a decade.
We've known each other for quite a few years. We're best mates, and yeah, we just want to provide as much value as we can. So why don't you kick it off with how we actually met?
Yeah, so we're going to speak as if we're speaking to someone that's just started in business. So everything that we're going to talk about is going to be pretty much relatable to you guys at the start of your career. But we pretty much met, 5 years ago? I think I already had a business for a year.
Yeah, probably 5 years ago.
It was about 5 years ago I met this guy. It was by a pure coincidence. I had my paid ads agency. I signed a Spanish client and they wanted ad copy in Spanish, basically, right? And I couldn't speak Spanish. ChatGPT wasn't a thing then, back in that time. Completely different times to now, which is absolutely crazy to think about. And I posted on my story, I was looking for someone that can copyright ad copy in Spanish, and this guy popped up. And I think we're in a few courses together before that.
So most people would know Iman Gadzi, and we were actually, I'm pretty sure we've both been in this course for a good 2 years.
Yeah.
And I had my paid ads agency for 2 years before we first connected. And funny enough, basically I popped up to a story, my girlfriend at the time was Spanish. And I was like, oh yeah, bro, my girl can help you out this. And funny enough, we jumped on a call straight after that, and pretty much realised that we were living in the same area.
We literally lived around the corner. He actually did help me with the ad copy. I ended up doing your gym, a day pass in your gym, which is David Lloyd's in the UK, which is like a members kind of gym sort of thing, has tennis and everything. And then we started going to the gym, then we started playing tennis, and we did like the spa days and stuff in the gym, a sauna and cold plunges. And then I ended up joining, and then obviously realised he was in the online business space, and then we just kind of kept in contact.
I think that was for me personally, that was a peak life of my journey, because Jermaine and I, tiny bit of an age gap, but not too much, but I had just dropped out of school. I was pretty young. I think when we first met, I was around 18, 19, and to be honest, like most of my mates were still in school, or the guy that I was living with at the time was at university, so I was like, had no one really in the entrepreneur space, and that's the power though of some of these groups, some of these communities, because literally off the back end of a Facebook group, we met each other, and that was peak life back then. We were playing tennis, we were getting in, we were working as well in the co-working space. It was pretty good. It's
crazy, because even for you had a friend in uni, but I knew no one in the online space, because I literally just left a corporate job. My brothers played football, so they went in the business space. I literally knew no one in my family's an entrepreneur, so it was like completely lonely space, and that's I think how we connected so well. He obviously loved the gym as well. I loved like the gym and the wellness and sports. We're both competitive. So that massively helped, and then I think we learned a lot just by like networking and speaking on a day-to-day basis, like problems that I was facing, I was telling him, problems he was facing, he was telling me. We'll go to gym early in the mornings, spa in the morning, and then start on the work day. And we lived around the corner, so it worked out pretty well, to be fair.
I loved it. Jermaine used to like pull up in the morning in his car, I'd get picked up. It was like, even though for me to the gym it was like probably a 5-minute walk.
Far for you.
He would come pick me up, and it was a good start to our journey, wasn't it?
It was. And then things really started to scale from that point. For me, I think it scaled for you as well. I think just having different perspectives of people in online space. Yeah. It generally, because obviously entrepreneurship is a sport, right? Like, I guess the only way you can measure your success as a business owner is like how much revenue and how much you're pushing. So I know when I started to like network with you and other people in the space, and met Tom later on in that world, my revenue started to increase because I could just see how much other people were making, and it obviously forced me to want to make more. What point for you did you realise it started to like have an incline effect on your journey?
When you're meeting people in real life, it opens your eyes up, because you see, when you're in the Facebook groups and you get a lot of these, guys preaching that they've just hit their first 20k a month, 50k a month, and at a young age, you never, especially when you're just stepping in online space, you never really know the true intentions. You don't know if this guy's just got a course at the back end of it, he's just trying to attract some people into his community, and you see that in communities, people like hijacking communities just to draw people into their course. And as soon as you start meeting people in real life, and we started talking about other individuals who we've both met, that's when everything just, you completely, it opens your eyes up. You start seeing better success in your own business, and it just kind of wakes you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, for me, traveling as well. I remember I made my first like 4K a month, and I went to Mykonos with that 4K a month. With that trip in Mykonos, like I was seeing 18-year-olds worked in like private equity banking and shit, spending like 40K on tables, and I'm thinking, I'm 22. How the hell are these kids spending this much money on tables?
Mental.
Even though I spent the first 4K I ever made on online business, I saw so much wealth and money, especially in Mykonos at that time. Like it really opened my mind up. Do you know what I mean? I was seeing like kids wearing Richard Milles, Pateks. I was like, how is this possible? And when you like kind of stick to yourself and your own network with the same people every single day, you really struggle to think outside the box. Do you know what I mean? So traveling is a really
100%.
great way to see wealth and then get inspired from the wealth. I know you obviously travel loads. Has that helped you in any way?
Honestly, I'm such a big believer on you got to spend money to make money, and
Yeah, for sure.
like when growing up, it's very easy to stay in your comfort zone of staying at home and just stacking as much cash as possible. And all of my friends know me as the guy that's like I do splash my cash a bit too much sometimes, and I like to travel. And well, we've had an incredible holiday in Mykonos once, didn't we? And like it just opens your eyes up, and even for yourself, like your two brothers play football. One of Jermaine's brothers, he was playing at a pretty high level for Fulham, and like you, even just his group of friends, I'm sure you opened your eyes up to how much money they make, and you're like, wow.
Of course. Yeah, the first times I went to like on a table in a club in like Mayfair, I've seen how much these guys are spending. I'm just sitting there getting paid for because I was just starting my business. I was like, holy shit, like there is actually levels to this money game. Do you know what I mean? Like people make the first couple K and they think they're making money, and then you see how much money there actually is in the world. Like it's absolutely insanity. Like honestly, you've had people in your network making crazy amounts of money that you probably couldn't even fathom at a young age. And
oh, bro, you
it's
think
crazy to see.
you think you're doing well when you're making X amount a month, and then you meet a guy at dinner who's making that in a day, and you're like, ah, shit. Like for example, I'm only 24 at the moment, and I moved to Dubai last year, and for me that was a really big goal of mine. Like growing up in London, I love the city life, and honestly I've lived in Bali for 2-3 years, and this is a full circle moment. We'll go to that in a minute, but Jermaine and I, like, we properly started our traveling part of our journey when we first came to Bali together. And funny enough, the guy that invited us out to Bali, today's his wedding, and look at Jermaine now, we're both grinding away getting a video done before the wedding, but it's quite a full circle moment that he's getting married today, and because of him and because of you, well, I wouldn't have met him if it wasn't for you. And
crazy, like the way the world works is absolutely crazy, because were you that keen on Bali the first time around?
I was. It opened my eyes up because like I'm someone that had only really travelled around Europe when Jermaine and I first met, and then like after we became really close within a year, and literally was it after a year of knowing each other we went to Bali together. We spent around 2 or 3 months. There was a big group of us actually. We were all running pretty much an agency, weren't we?
Yeah.
And
that was a good group.
Yeah, off the back end of that, I never moved home after that.
Yeah, you went travelling after that. Off that batch, you met someone that's worked very closely with your business off that random trip. Yes. No one would have ever expected it. And then from that exact group that we had, everyone just kind of loved grinding together. Do you know what I mean? In the same villa, everyone was trying to make as much money as possible. Everyone was like trying to step up their personal branding and content. That was the trip you started your personal brand.
Oh, literally, as soon as I moved to Bali, like with these guys, I just saw people that were confident. They were picking up the camera in restaurants. They're picking up the camera out in public, especially in the gym. In London, I'm not gonna lie, I would be terrified to pick up the camera. It's harder, like you get a lot of judgment. But nowadays, personal branding's become a lot more open. Like people,
it's way more open now.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like a bit more like everyone looked at you a bit more egotistical way.
Yeah.
It was a bit more different than now. The evolution of content.
Oh, now it's normal.
It's pretty normal now, especially if you come to Bali. Like even in our gym now, in Relo gym, there's like certain times for content filming.
Oh, literally,
you see that. But like that just shows you.
Yes, we were talking about Bali in general. It's an important leap for anyone to take, because if you do stay in your hometown, like honestly, you're just gonna hit boundary. You're gonna hit restrictions, and you're gonna get to a point where like actually taking that leap to maybe travel somewhere for a month, it just opens your eyes up.
Massively.
New perspectives on life and just on cultures. Like coming out to Asia, I was like, oh wow, life's so different out here. And then off the back end of that, went over to Australia. Jermaine's originally from Australia. I loved it out there, and seeing the work-life balance in Australia really opened my eyes up personally, because I used to sometimes, especially at the beginning stages when we're both only making 5K a month, you're grinding it out like 12 hours. You're working harder than you would in a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
and
sure.
In Australia, life's the other way around. Like people go to the beach and surf at lunchtime, and it's just a lot more chilled. And actually I realised I'd rather my business be around my life. I'd rather travel, I'd rather have a good group of friends and family rather than just like work non-stop, and that's how I sort of believe in business.
Yeah. I guess everyone has their own preferences. For me, I like seasons. So like I like a period of where I can work intensely for like 2 months, 3 months, and then I need to get the heck out of there. Do you know what I mean? Like before here, to be fair, I was working a good 2-3 months, and I wasn't burnt out, but I realized like I need to get out, and then obviously I went.
Well, you were locked in. I
was locked the fuck in.
I was over in America, in LA, and I flew back to Manchester went to London, then saw Jermaine up in Money, and literally this guy we had one of his best mates over, and Jermaine was like, no, you got to go get a hotel, bro. Like, I'm locked in at the moment, and that's fair enough. You got to be like
Sometimes you got to do it. Like at the end of the day, what's changed your life the most? It's probably the business. 100%. If you're in an agency space or the online business space, right? So certain seasons of your life, you got to prioritize that. And other seasons, you got to prioritize your health, your travel, experiences, culture, all that kind of thing, which is probably the season that we're in now.
How would you structure, like talking on seasons, like how do you structure it? And like when you're traveling, how long do you like to travel for?
For me, like everyone's different. For me personally, a month is probably like my max. Because obviously here, I am still working, but it's not the same intensity of work as back home. I probably do like 3-4 hours a day of like work and then communication after that. But then after that, I kind of get not bored, but like I feel like I need my routine again. Whether it's in Manchester or whether it's in Dubai or wherever it may be in the future, I think I still need that base. And then the rest of the year, I like kind of dart about. Like I'm in Bali for a month. I like to do more Cape Town. I like to do like a month in Marbella, maybe in Australia. Just different periods I like to kind of dart about. Then probably I like to have like 4, 5, 6 months a year in like a certain place where I can like really get my main work done, build my systems, my teams, and then the rest of the year I can kind of like manage around that. 100%. What about you?
Yeah, I think I've been non-stop traveling now for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've realized that even while you are traveling, it's so important to try and build somewhat of a routine, because look, one, jet lag. I just arrived in Bali from LA, and God, the first few days were heavy. You've still got to get the gym in, still got to get some work done, but it's so hard to travel when you're only in somewhere for 2 weeks or a month. And that's why I think it's a good rule of thumb, even if you're doing a month somewhere, it's a good amount of time to experience a new place or just like lock in at the same time. And when you are traveling, I'll be honest, like the times where you're locked in, like when you're doing your 4 months season of just locking in, you can probably get more done than most people throughout a whole year within those 4 months.
For sure, yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah. Good 8 to 10 hour days consistently over like a couple months. The amount that compounds is absolutely crazy. It makes a huge difference in your progress as well. You've traveled a lot now, so do you have a preference of like your best place for business and work? So business wise, location wise, fitness wise, network wise.
Yeah, so
do you have the best place in mind?
So my business partner Will and I were, funny enough, Will's who I met when I moved up to Bali, so we were all living together, and if it wasn't for Jermaine, I probably wouldn't have met my business partner. And we moved our business to Dubai last year, and moving to Dubai opened my eyes up. There's a lot of serious entrepreneurs out there, some big business owners. I moved there for the sun, definitely not for tax purposes. So yeah, we have the business there now, but I do still like to travel. My business partner is not actually a big fan of Dubai, so he's based out here in Bali. But honestly, in terms of like where do I like to spend my time, Bali's an amazing place just because you've got the beaches. In Dubai it does get a bit too hot, but Dubai is the best place to like really just get your head down and look in, especially now it's so hot. Like I've still got a house out there, and all my mates that I live with, it's pretty easy to dial in. When I go back to London, I do struggle to work just because it's nice to catch up with friends and family. But Europe's the kind of place that you just need to like relax. Like I'm not gonna lie, every time I go to Europe, there's no serious work getting done. Like if I'm doing a trip with this guy to Mykonos or we're off to Spain somewhere, it's just pure like a week or two of partying and enjoying the fruits of our labour, and that's something that you live by. And it's important.
I feel like there's no point working all this hard,
sacrificing
all this amount in your 20s, in your teens, in your 30s, but like to just not enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like I know guys that all they do is save, not party, not go out, not travel, and bro, like maybe they're doing really well in business, sure, but like God forbid if you drop dead tomorrow, you're not gonna take all your money to the grave. Sure, your family will be good, but like you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor as well.
Bro, I'm such a big believer in this. Like God forbid I don't die tomorrow, but if I die tomorrow, I can, at the age of 24, I can say I've lived the best life possible.
I had the exact same thing.
Like honestly, every year I've just done probably I'm at 24 now, and I just took my family to Portugal, and for me that was like, paying for everything. It was probably the best feeling ever, and like honestly, that's the meaning of why I started the business in the first place, to be able to give back to some family and friends. And for me, it's so cringe, but I've got a tattoo here that says "Remember your why." And for me, like, even going to Dubai, I've experienced the supercars, I've experienced the flashiness, and nothing matters more for me than be able to give back to friends and family. And that's why I started.
For sure. I think I remember when I first did that as well. Me and my brother took our families to Mykonos for a couple of days. When they see you making money online, they see the numbers, they see the travel, but it doesn't really hit until it applies directly to them. When you start paying the bill at tables for them, at dinners or trips and stuff, that's when it really sinks in for them. And for my family especially, like, it really sunk in when we started taking them on trips and they actually see, like, it actually translates into actual money. Because, like, for a while, my family didn't realize, like, it was actually real money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially in the online space, if they're a traditional based family and they're making more money from, like, more labor based jobs or, like, corporate based jobs. Bro, for the longest time, my family didn't believe I was making any money online. It's just numbers on the screen. They're like,
they don't understand it, do they?
It is hard to comprehend. Like, every time I go back to Australia and all my other family who are way more traditional, they think, when are you going to get a real job? Like, even last trip to Australia, the amount of money I'm making now, and they're like, when are you going to get a real job? I was like, are you kidding me?
No, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
But, like, someone who's watching this now, because I was in the exact same boat, when you're starting out, you are going to get a bit of backlash from maybe your parents and your friends around you, and they're going to be like, look, everyone's trying to make online money, like, don't believe these people, it's all scammers. And especially in the course space, like, it is very hard to trust a lot of the gurus and individuals out there nowadays, so you do have to, like, trust your sources. But going off that point, when you're starting out, like, it's okay for your parents not to believe in you. Sometimes you just got to be so delusional and just go down the path of, like, I'm going to make this work. Personally, myself, I dropped out of school at 17, and my parents at the time, oh my god,
that's crazy.
Like,
that's fair.
My parents were like, my dad, you met my dad a few times,
yeah.
and he was, at the time, he was furious. He was like, what are you doing? All you care about is money. Like, all they said was, all you care about is money, and you're not going to do any good for yourself. Like, just go to university. And I was just so delusional. I was like, no, I'm going to make this work, and I'm doing this for them at the end of the day. But sometimes you just got to have that crazy mindset. And I know you're watching this now, you're an individual back home, and you're probably 16, 15, 17, whatever age, and you're starting out, and your parents are telling you not to do it. And the truth is, you just got to say no to that noise and just seriously go all in. It's so important.
You just got to back yourself. Like,
100%.
17 is delusional. Like, it's fair play, because that is delusional. I was older than you. I think I started my first agency when I was like 22. Just left corporate after uni, and I was miserable in that job. Like, yeah, to leave school at 17 is absolutely wild. But I think to make it an entrepreneurship, I believe the stat is like, is it like 60-70% of businesses fail in the first year? I think I saw it on Forbes.
I think I've seen that.
So just think of that stat, 60-70% of businesses fail in their first year. So to make it as an entrepreneur, you need to be like stubborn, but like incredibly delusional. Do you know what I mean? And you're like a 1%er out of this whole universe. Like, it's actually crazy to think.
And it's really hard. You do have to have a bit of an ego. You do have to be a bit selfish at the start. And I've really struggled when I was like growing up at that young age, because I actually started my first business at 16. It was like an events company in London. And I was making a bit of money, but not enough money to be like, yeah, I'm dropping out. And my parents at the time, even my sisters, they were all at the time saying, oh, you're selfish, all you care about is money. And I never had that intention, but you just got to have that craziness in you, and that you just got to be delusional, like I've just said. But you just have to take that leap. And as bad as it sounds, like, you just got to say no to your family, no to that noise, and just really, double down.
Was there one material, one person, one course, one video or something that changed something for you, that actually turned you into revenue or turned your mindset into revenue? Like, was there one moment that you remember? Or maybe it was a video or a course or something?
Do you know what it was? I was 16 at the time, was making a bit of money from the events company, and there was only a few of these like course sellers back then. This was in 2017, 2018, and Imam Gadzi, he's very, very big now, but back when I was 16 or 17, he went to the same gym as me in London. So he was at David Lloyd's Fulham, and a good friend of mine called Charles Knight, he was actually like, he did a bit of personal training for Iman. And I remember like, he kind of introduced me to him. Like, I just looked at his Instagram, looked at his content, and to see this kid making serious money from his agency at the time, I was like, oh wow, what? So like, the ads that I'm running for my events brand, I could be doing for other businesses, and that opened my eyes up. And then, funny enough, about a few months later, Man actually launched his very, very first course. I think it would have been like 6-figure SMA or agency incubator. And I was like, oh wow, like, people say Imam Gadzi and all these people, like, you get a lot of people that say they're scammers and all they do is sell courses. But at the time, he was literally the only guy that I looked up to who was making money in the marketing agency space. Yeah, just from that moment when you realise, well, I met Iman when you had probably 50k followers on Instagram. The guy's now got, well, good 2-3 million, hasn't he? And
It's crazy,
all the rest on YouTube. He's grown into one of the biggest names in the, he's just done a partnership now with Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels. It's crazy. He was the same for me.
And that's how we met. We met through his Facebook group, didn't we?
Agency Incubator was for me. Same thing. So there was a couple people. It was him, Jordan, maybe Ty Lopez.
Yeah, because Ty Lopez back then was a big one, but he just seemed...
He was very guru.
Yeah, he was very guru, and it was just about like, I don't know if I can...
Yeah, that one course fucking changed my life. Like, I remember I got made furlough from a corporate job. I think the course was like $1,000 at the time. I put every last cent that I had and borrowed some from my brother to fucking put money in that course. And I remember having the call with Kieran, who was like the product manager at the time. I was like, bro,
that's crazy.
This has to work. And he's trying to close me on the call. Like, bro, this has to work. There's no choice. This has to work. All my money is going with you. And he goes, the only reason why it wouldn't work is because of you. And I was like, okay, fine. And then fast forward 4 months, I signed my first client, even got it tattooed on me. And that was the day my life changed forever. Like, I went all in. So Iman, as much as people want to say about him, like, is a direct case study, 2 direct case studies of whose lives that he's changed. Imagine all the other hundreds of thousands out there. And even if you join a course and you know half the shit in there, if you just get like 1 gem or 2 gems from your money, that can change the trajectory of your business
100%.
Massively. Like, I bought courses for like 3-4K. I know like 80%, but then maybe I'll get 1 bit of source or 1 SOP that can massively save me time, make more revenue, help me hire more team or whatever it is, in a way that I didn't think before. Sometimes you just got to pay to play.
Oh, and yeah, we've probably both invested well over 5 figures into courses and into mentorships. And for me also, the most important part of it is the community and the people who you meet that are inside of it. Because look, Jermaine and I have become literally best friends through a Facebook group and an online space. If I didn't invest into that, I wouldn't have met like-minded people. We also met Tom Rose, who's also in the agency space, a good friend of ours as well. And we all wouldn't have met from the community.
So many. Like,
crazy.
Even like, just think about it, like if you go into free communities, think about the crowd that it's attracting. If you join paid communities, there's a paywall barrier, do you know what I mean? So people in there are actually committed and they're actually going to try and get their return on investment. So you'll meet higher quality people, and then it goes in tiers. So if you spend 5K on a mentorship, you're going to be interacting with people that can afford 5K. So it's a different kettle of fish. There's trainings that cost like 100K, you know what I mean? So imagine the different levels of people that are in those mentorships. So 100%, like, you will always see some sort of return. It just depends how you approach it.
I know. Well, I just want to, off the back end of this, anyone's watching, you're probably thinking, oh, what, because you guys became successful in the agency space, should I start marketing agency? And look, the whole point of this video is literally just to talk raw and hopefully provide some value, but we're not here to preach saying get into the agency space. I think every business model nowadays, let's be honest, they all work. Like, I know serious e-com founders, I know serious traders, like every single business model works. It's just honestly like finding the right person you can learn from. And to be honest, it's all on YouTube nowadays, most of the information.
The amount of opportunity there is with like Claude, AI,
ridiculous.
Chat, YouTube, like even Reddit to an extent, you can get so much information, but then it's just how you dilute and process information is actually what's going to move the needle forward. Matt said, you can make money in any business. I know Amazon players, dropshippers, e-com, traders, they're all making money. So you just got to choose your vehicle and then just stick with it. Because like if I quit in that first 3 months, God knows where I'll be. If you quit when you first started, God knows where you'll be. Like if I see the guys that are making good money, like actual money, and they're making a living off it, they were the most consistent over the longest period of time without seeing any returns. So I know so many guys that started agencies and quit, started businesses and quit. People close, people far. As long as you just commit for a long period of time, you can't lose.
And you've got to really commit, because I've seen a lot of guys jumping from business model to business model, and they spend like 3 months and want to go, oh, it was a bloody scam. And I'm like, well, mate, how many cold calls did you do? How many DMs did you send? And they're like, oh, just a few hundred. I'm like, well, you can't say the business model's not for you then, buddy, because you didn't try hard enough. So, the game's hard out there. Let's be honest. Like, back in 2018, the whole online space was very different. Like, it was like, up and coming. And nowadays, let's be honest, like, everyone wants to make online money. Everyone's seen people traveling the world and working from their laptop, especially I think COVID played a big part in this because people started working remotely for even huge corporate companies.
Yeah,
and people realised, why the hell would I go to an office every day?
Yeah.
So that's played a huge part in it.
3 pieces of advice to the younger self watching this that's crossing the border between going to uni or starting a business, going to a job, starting a business, in the business not seeing any results right now. Hot take, 3 pieces of advice that you give to that person.
So someone who's in university right now, let's kick it off with that, or for instance, they're in school. It doesn't matter which one. Like, I think you shouldn't be dropping out until you're making a bit of money now. I was fucking delusional. Like, the truth is, not many people do what I do, and I just went all in. I had the comfort of I was still living at home with my parents. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very hard for someone to do that if you're living by yourself and you're having to pay rent and you're literally living paycheck to paycheck, or you're at uni and you've only got a bit of student loan left or whatever it may be. Like, you do have to have a bit of comfort. You know, you got to have something behind you. So I wouldn't drop out until you're making a bit of money. The same for someone who's in like a job. Like, Jermaine was very fortunate that, you know, he went through furlough and like COVID times, and
extremely lucky.
Very lucky. But for people who are in a full-time job, same again, don't quit your job until you're making a bit of money. Well, another piece of advice I would say is honestly just stick it out for more than 6 months, because like I said, time and time again, so many individuals think success comes overnight, and again I've met some incredible business owners, and all the ones that succeeded are the ones that stuck it out for maybe a year or two. So don't give up within 6 months just because you're not seeing any success. Number 3, honestly, just staying true to yourself and you know, going all in on something that you're also going to be passionate about. For me, is an important one, because honestly, I've made a fair bit of money over the time, and I've realised that, you know, sometimes you do want to make your money in something that you truly believe in. There's been a few businesses that I've worked with, or a few businesses that I haven't really felt like I wanted to go all in on, and the ones that I've had my full heart at and the ones that I've gone all in on are the ones that I've got a slight passion for. So if you are looking to get into business, honestly, don't just do it for the money. Like, a lot of people nowadays are obviously trying to get their cash flow in, and I get that, it's okay to do that at the start, but when you're ready to go all in, make sure it's something that you really are passionate about.
To quickly wrap up, so yeah, first point, don't quit the job, don't quit university till you're doing at least like 2 to 3x of the revenue, or at least 2 to 3x of your living expenses, 3 months, 6 months worth of living expenses. Point number 2 is the only way you lose is when you quit. So if you keep going every single day, Alex Hormozi says if you do enough volume, it is impossible to quit. So if you're not getting results from 100 DMs, do 500 DMs. If you're not getting results from 500, do 1,000 DMs, right? You need to do enough volume of work for it to be insane for it not to work, right? That could be through content creation, that could be from email outreach, any business model. Third piece of advice would be to look at things in a long-term macro level perspective. So do not look at yourselves or do not look at your results on a daily basis, right? You need to think on a macro level. Think in months, think in years, think in decades, right? Every decision that you make now, how is it going to affect you in a year's time? How is it going to affect your business in 5 years' time, right? When you apply that macro level approach, you'll make better decisions for your business, more mature decisions for your business, and you'll see much better returns off the back of that. Whereas you can do things at the moment now for quick money or for quick things, and you may crash and burn your business later on down the line, right? I've seen businesses that try to scale way too quickly by doing a method, and then the infrastructure of the business can't support that, right? So it applies in all businesses. Just think in longer stints. It's a marathon, not a sprint at the end of the day. No, they're my 3 pieces of advice. There was Maddie's 3 pieces of advice. This is pretty much of a raw talk on the back of us. We've been in business now for like 6 years. 6 years for me, like 8, 9 years for you, which is crazy. Hopefully you guys gain some value from this.
I enjoyed this. I think we'll probably end up doing another one together soon, because it's, you know, these sit downs are nice. They're so raw. We don't plan for this. We don't have any specific topics. Like,
no scripts, nothing.
We're just
straight
talking,
off the dome. Talking
from the heart, and I think that's what it's all about. And nowadays, I think authenticity and, you know, talking from the heart like that is probably the most important, and that's hopefully what we're going to do with our personal brands.
100%. So yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, keep up to date with the journey. We'll just be as raw as possible, speaking to the people that will want us trying to start the business or trying to scale the business in the early stages. So,
and I've got a good one actually. If you comment any questions you have for us in this video, I think the next video we make will be pretty much on all the questions that we get asked. So I think that'll be a nice new video to make.
100%.
Wrap it up. Thank
Peace
you.
Out.